Good. Self-isolated morning. Although I haven't been. I've been going out almost every day, taking a bus or a bicycle ride or a walk. Not particularly getting near people, but how do you avoid that if you use public transportation and a bicycle? Because 6 pounds per gallon just still annoys me somehow, so I don't, chemtrail thing. So what's going on? What's going on today? I hope I labeled this sunlight is the best disinfectant. I'm not sure what I put for a label on this one yet. But we're going to get into energy spectrum stuff because of the coronavirus, the COVID-19 virus. Now, COVID-19 is named COVID-19 because the virus was isolated and identified on November of 2019. So that is when the first alarm bell was rung. So November 2019. We are now November, December, January, February. 5 months if I've got the right number of fingers attached, right? How hard is that? So in order to discover that in November, the signs, the triggers that would lead a doctor, a physician, a researcher to begin looking showed up. So sometime prior to November of last year, and I would say it had to have been months, there were canaries dying in the coal mine, right? Canaries getting sick in the coal mine. Maybe they got pulled out, rescued. There was a canary hospital nearby. So what's this got to do with sunlight? Well, shining light on things is important. In that, in America, the research centers that had worked on a previous version, and I haven't found the year because it's another COVID. It's COVID 2000 or COVID 17. When was the SARS virus outbreak? You see, SARS is the patent and trademark name for that version of a virus. The SARS virus was actually worse in some ways than COVID-19 because the roots of SARS, the entomology, that's a word, of SARS the roots of SARS, where SARS came from, was believed to be a spontaneous mutation, which means it wasn't something from previous history, it was new to humankind. Maybe if I'm posing this, or if we're looking from the internets now, right? But what is highly relational, matters greatly, is the methodology for virus research used in the corona string of viruses. The science, the patents, the copyrights, the licensing agreements, because someone's got to pay for this. How much is another question. So I'm leading up to COVID, but I opened with sunlight. The strongest in sun, most of these things deteriorate. Even plastics deteriorate. Them being in the ocean stops them from deteriorating or slows their deterioration. And the main reason for that is ultraviolet wavelengths, UVA, UVB, and UVC. These are, we talk about ultraviolet light and tanning beds and such. That is more typically UVA and UVB light, very specific frequency range used to slow cook your skin. And that is kind of what it's cooking you. It's just cooking the very surface of you, though. It doesn't penetrate very deep. If you feel it, that's when it's started to seep into nearer the nerves. But overall, it's just killing surface skin that you're going to replenish and replace. But underneath that, from the sun through the atmosphere, we get UVB and UVC. If you look into UVC light, this is the one that is the destroyer of molecules. This photons emitted from very specific types of ionization of electrons that create the photons we can measure. This gets simple, right? So UVC lights, now you can go out and get stupid about this and go look at buying some. If you don't read the hazards and the warnings, UVC is a carcinogen. It will burn your skin at best. It will cause cataracts almost instantaneously. Looking at it is enough. There's examples of UVC lighting being placed in a concert and burning the concert goers. So you cannot be ignorant with this. UVB and UVC lighting has been used for longer than my generation, antique here, right? Boomer, to purify water and air. So where would you put UVC specific lighting? In a well-shielded place. And maybe you run money by it, so it kills all the viruses on the surface of the money. And a whole lot of other, they will actually destroy the money if you leave it under that UVC light for long enough. Because remember, this specific wavelength of light is a molecule destroyer. It has enough ionizing energy to excite other electrons in a molecule and cause them to disassociate bonds and go find another bond to make. That's what the energy, the frequency-specific photon energy from the sun or a very special light will do. Because now maybe that gives you a bit of perspective on what we know about light, what we know about frequencies of specific types of energies. That is photon specific, not electrons. Some of these emissions are incidental effects of nuclear decay. But the nuclear artifact in this conversation is the sun itself, ionizing particles that create UVC frequencies of light, colors of the rainbow. So, I'm having a V8 this morning after my coffee. Went out yesterday and got some, it's legal here, right? This is Golden Goat. We have gasoline zest. Backwards, eh? And V8. So if you stayed long enough for a drink, welcome to Wally's world. So hey, anyone out there with a spare cash to change needs to do something with, you know? They cashed in on Wall Street. If you want to pay for some lab analytics, analyzing samples, you can make your own heads or tails. You know, you got $30,000 to $50,000 laying around, so we can contract a few 3 labs to run samples for us. Look me up. Peace out.